Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. I'm your host, Tamara, and today we are back with our fantasy series, and we are discussing the first book in our latest pick, Guild Hunters. If you would like to see this in video format without ad breaks, you need to head on over to Patreon and sign up. We also have an after show available on Patreon and Spreaker. After shows and exclusive audio content are available on the Spreaker app. If you prefer video, head on over to Patreon instead. Don't forget, you can also join me and my two co-hosts over on the Book Club's app for even more bookish chats. Please subscribe and like the podcast wherever you're listening. If you want to reach out to me, you can find me pretty much everywhere at Shelf Addiction. Joining me today is feature co-host Casey from Heart Full of Ink. Welcome back, Casey.
Hello. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a fun one.
I think so. I think it'll be a good discussion.
I agree with that for sure. Tell everyone where they can find you online.
You can find me on Facebook at Heartful of Ink, on Instagram at Casey_Heartful of Ink, or on my website, heartfulofink.com.
Okay, awesome. So also, you guys, if you go on over to Patreon, there are some coloring sheets available for download right now. If you want to support the podcast, but you don't want to sign up for Patreon, you might want to check out the coloring sheets. It's a one-time purchase. And if you are already a Patreon member, then guess what? Those are free for you. Head on over, download them. They have some fall themed and Halloween themed pages in there. So
sounds
have a good
fun.
time with that. Yeah, I had a fun time designing it. I think I'm going to do another one for Christmas.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I love coloring, so it's perfect while listening to audiobooks.
Absolutely, yes.
Yes. Okay, you guys, so before we get started, we just want to remind you that with all book chats, we talk full spoilers, so spoiler alert, you've been warned. Today we are discussing Angel's Blood, written by Nalini Singh. The audiobook is narrated by Justine Eyre, published on March 9th, 2009 by Berkeley Sensation and Tandor Audio. The mass paperback comes in at 339 pages, and the unabridged audio is 10 hours and 29 minutes. Casey, would you kindly share the synopsis?
Yes. Vampire hunter Elena Devereaux knows she is the best, but she does not know if she is even good enough for this job. Hired by the dangerously beautiful Archangel Raphael, a being so lethal that no mortal wants his attention, Elena knows failure is not an option, even if the task is impossible. Because this time, it's not a wayward vampire she has to track, it's an Archangel gone bad. The job will put Elena in the midst of a killing spree like no other and pull her to the razor's edge of passion, even if the hunt does not destroy her. Succumbing to Raphael's seductive touch just might. For when archangels play, mortals break.
All right, high level.
This is one of my favorite series of all times by one of my favorite authors of all time. So high level, I'm very happy. I think it's you who needs to answer this question first.
Let's just say that I could tell already that this is going to be slightly lopsided because we've got a fangirl,
yes,
and a non-fangirl.
It's going to be a good discussion. We're going to have fun.
So honestly, okay, so when I finished the book, I was satisfied. I thought, okay, cool. I can tell that the series is going to take an interesting turn. Things have changed, and I was satisfied with it.
That's good.
Was I? Wow, that was so good. No, I was not. But I felt hopeful, so that's good.
That's good. That is good. And I will say, I love this series. I've read most of the books in the series. I'm a few behind right now, but I know where this is going. I have seen Raphael and Elena grow because the series spans years and years. And so they keep growing. So I can look back at this very fondly and go, okay, yeah, no, this is not the best book, but it's a good place for them to start because everybody has to start somewhere.
True.
So I look at it very fondly, but I also know what's coming in the future for them.
Yeah. Which is really good because, like I was telling you earlier, I
Mhm.
can understand this theory based on the ACOTAR series because
Mhm.
that didn't have the best first book, to be honest. It wasn't great.
Oh,
But
no.
I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. And it had someone not persuaded me to read the second book because they were saying the
Mhm.
second book is amazing, amazing. They were right, and it keeps getting better, but the first book didn't do it. So I do understand like seeing the bigger picture
Mhm.
and knowing something better is on
Mhm.
the way.
Oh, yeah.
So, but what we get there in the first three books, because that's the arc we've decided to read at the first
Yes.
three.
So the first 3 books are the 2 of them as a couple, and it's kind of the start of their relationship. Like, this book, obviously, she's human and he is lacking of humanity for the first half of the book, and then he falls very, very quickly into his humanity. Then the next book, she's suddenly, different and has to deal with that. Do we want to go into spoilers right away?
Well, I mean, okay, so yeah, why not? We warned everybody. We
Yeah,
warned
warned.
you.
So at the end of this book, it has been foreshadowed so many times throughout the story. I don't know if you picked up on those little details of her wishing she could sell her soul to the devil for wings.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't quite have to do that, but she gets wings.
Yeah.
So Elena becomes the first made angel in over
Long time.
thousands of years.
Yeah, apparently there's some special sauce involved to make it happen.
Ambrosia.
Yeah, ambrosia, and it can't. There needs to be something there. Like you have to
Mhm.
have real like love or care or something that he
True
said.
love.
True love. Oh my god. So you can't just do it like you can make
Yeah.
these vampires. It needs that special oomph, and
Mhm.
then you may do it. And who knows? It takes for obviously it's very rare, but
Very, very rare. But yeah,
yeah.
no.
But
So
she's
now
got
she's
wings now.
now she's got wings and she's a made angel. And so, like you said, it kind of levels the playing field a little bit. Like, she's basically a baby angel, but she's no longer a mortal human who can die in a split second that he has to worry about.
Which, so you guys, this is one of the things that I had an issue with was the range of how big the power dynamic shift was between them. Like she's way now. Like if
Mhm.
if let's use a scale of 1 to 10, she was like at power 1.5 and he's
Mhm.
like at 10 plus. So
Yes.
now, because the author decided to do this, I feel like she's maybe at a 3.5 and he's still at a 10 plus. But I have a strong feeling that the longer the series goes, the more powerful she'll become because that's kind
Yes.
of what the trope does, she'll become
Yes.
oh so powerful and she doesn't know how powerful because she's got these special things. So I'm anticipating that.
It's not quite that. There is and we'll see this in book 2, so minor spoilers for that, but like it takes several books for her to really truly come into that power. Like, she's not immediately like, "Oh, I'm so special, I'm so awesome, I can do this, I can do that." And that's one of the things I appreciate about Nalini is how she does drag it out realistically.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Because
So
like at
she's
the
not
end of the
immediately like, "Oh, I have all the powers and I'm
oh
the
no.
best angel ever." Like, no, there's so many other much more powerful beings, and Elena is still weak in book 2. Like, she needs to be protected even though she hates that.
Well, you know what? That only makes sense because the author, I can say, did a good job of showing us the levels of angels and the
Mhm.
levels of power. And the author even mentions in some of the, verbiage from them talking that you get more powerful with age. And
Yes.
archangels are really, really old. And like
Thousands
regular
and
angels
thousands of
can't
years
do some
old.
of the stuff they can.
Mhm.
So by no means did I expect her to jump into
Yeah,
like
okay.
Wonder Woman in book 2, but
Yeah.
she'll be growing in each book,
Mhm.
hopefully. And she does
Yes.
still have some skills that were unique to her in this book that she was able to keep when she made her
Mhm.
transformation, which makes her unique and different from other angels.
Yes. Yes, exactly. And
Yeah.
that's what I really love about her in this series is, you know, she keeps getting put in these situations and she's like, nothing's going to hold me down. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to fight this. When Raphael scares her, she's like, I'm just going to shoot you because you're going to kill me anyway. So I might as well go down shooting.
Can we talk about that contradiction?
Yes.
She's like, I'm just going to shoot you. And then she's like, oh shit, are you hurt? I'm sorry. Like, are you going to be okay? You know, she's like, she fully meant it when she shot him. And then she's like, but you're not.
But he was supposed to heal and he didn't heal.
Like, I only meant to maim you a little bit. I didn't want to kill you.
Yeah. You're immortal. You should have healed within like 5 to 10 minutes. And it's been 10 minutes and you're still bleeding.
Yeah.
I feel guilty about that.
Never mind. He's not feeling guilty about anything he's doing to her.
Nope.
So, like, come on, girl. Put your grown-up panties on. Like, come on. Like, who? Look, I know you don't want to kill him, but I would have 0 fucks. You'll be fine. It's taking a little longer, but man up, it'll be fine.
Yeah, no, if I was her, I may have thrown a towel at him just to be like, stench you're flowing, stop the blood.
Yeah.
But I would have started running and then called Dimitri while I was in the car driving away.
Yeah, like, leave the premises.
Your boss is bleeding. You might want to go save him.
Send someone.
Send somebody. I'm not there. Like, don't sit around and wait.
Yeah, because honestly, their beginning was pretty awful.
Mm-hmm.
So at the beginning of the book, she is called, like, ordered to his lair, basically.
Yes.
To do this job that she doesn't have all the details to. She walks into the situation, and before you know it, it's like the chemistry between them was immediate, but I didn't really buy it. But it was immediate nonetheless. It was in the book. And then before you know it, they're like all over each other. And she's like, wait, that's not me wanting that. I didn't say. There's this segment where he kind of gets in her head and makes her think that she wants to. He
does that a few times.
Yeah. But the very first time he does it, she reacts in this way that is so polar opposite of what she was kind of thinking about him only moments before. And she jumps to the R word. She's like, oh, do you get off on...
Well, that's because he was putting those thoughts in her brain. So
no, I understand the reason. But it seemed like after that, after he kind of felt bad about it, like, oh, that's not me. I don't know what... It drops, even though he does get in her head a couple more times.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I have a problem with that character for that. And I feel like it wasn't properly addressed. I don't think.
I fully agree with you there. But I want to explain why I don't want to say I like him for this, but he is over 1,000 years old.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He is a very, very old being. And normally when we get immortal heroes in books or heroes who are thousands, hundreds and thousands of years old, they're so human. They're so angsty. They're so human. They're like, here's my emotions. This is what I think. This is what I feel. This is one of the rare times where we get an immortal being who's like, I've lost my humanity. I don't feel or think like a human. I think like a very powerful 1,000-year-old being. And I really, really appreciate that because I feel like if you've lived for 1,000 years and you can melt stuff with your brain and you look at humans and you're like, you're an ant who's going to die by the time I blink, you know, you've lost that humanity.
Right.
And I wish we saw more immortal beings without their humanity. But
it came back so quick.
But it came back really quickly. And that was part of their whole falling in love together because she brings out his humanity and he chose to love her instead of killing her like Li Zhuang told him to. Blech. You know.
I don't know. Just something of, I get it. And I want to love that about him. But my God. After 1,000 years,
that was a bit much.
You flipped the script so fast.
I wish we could change a little bit about this. Like this, again, I love this series, but this is not my favorite book of the series.
Like, he
So
didn't even...
there are things I wish we could change, but I want to try and like defend the fact that he has lost that humanity. And I really, really appreciate that because we don't see that very often.
No, we don't. And I think that is good, but I wish that he had struggled with himself a little bit more over it. Instead, he's like, I should kill her, but I won't.
But I won't.
That's it.
And that's it. And now we're together and everything's great.
And now you're mine and you better not sleep with anyone else. And she's like, you better not sleep with anyone else. And they're like, fine. Okay, let's like,
fine, let's do this now.
Yeah. It's very like, oh my God. Okay, I get it. I understand, but not very suave. Not very, you know.
Yeah.
But I get it. I understand. That's all I gotta say on that. It's fine.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Yeah.
But I do want to just like, I love the fact that he's not an average human mortal dude who's like, yeah, these are my feelings. This is how life is gonna go because I have my humanity. Like, he's very much without it. And it's, again, this is part of his growth. He's not fully human for the rest of the series. Like, he grows and he changes, and we still see his struggle with that humanity. So, but he gets better. He gets a lot. There's no more R-word stuff.
Okay, good. Because I'm like, he should be over it, especially at the end. Well, I'm sure he's going to do more of trying to force her to do what he wants. Because at the end, she's like, yeah, you're not going to basically boss me around. He's like, that's what you think.
And she's like, that's what you think.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I can see lots of pull and tug in that arena.
Yes,
you know,
there's so much, and I love it. I love it.
I guess that could be cute eventually. That could be cute as they get more into it, you know, kind of like...
It's not supposed to be cute. It's supposed to be sexy and fun and foreplay. Don't you know that, like, angry banter is foreplay?
I guess, but maybe maybe that's not my foreplay. So
that's okay. It doesn't have to be. That doesn't work for everybody.
Because I'm like, yeah, I guess. But I mean, honestly, okay, so to me, and I know not everyone thinks this way, but that shit gets tired and it's no longer sexy after you have to keep bickering about the same shit over and over again. To me, it's not sexy. It's not cute. We know you fucking don't like XYZ. I'm going to do it anyway. We know.
I mean, I enjoy it. So
I know, but that's why I'm like, I'm kind of nervous. I'm like, is that all we're going to get? Is that all they're going to bicker over? Is that like going to be the biggest point of contention for them forever? Are they going to have other things to get through?
Yes, they do. There's a lot of growth for both of them, and they both have a lot of childhood trauma that they have to get through. There's all her new growth that she has to deal with, and then, you know, finding out or realizing who she is as an angel and a hunter, and, you know,
yeah. Okay. Because I can tell she does have a lot of issues. She's got some daddy issues seeping in there somewhere. You know, she's got this whole... Actually, her whole fucking family is the worst. Her blood family.
Yep.
They're the worst.
They're the worst. And the ones that aren't bad were murdered. So
yeah. And then, of course, as most of these types of books, there's the whole found family trope, and that's here as well. And I do like her found family. They're cute.
They're very cute.
Especially what's the lady's name?
Sarah.
She is like putting on a what do you call it? They are like the labor union. They're like, we're not working.
We're putting on a strike.
Yeah, we're striking because she's like, whatever it's going to take to get me in that fucking building. We're not doing anything for you because it's been months. Is she even alive? Are you lying to me? Show me the body. Like, she is like, and she finally gets to see Elena, and she's like, why didn't you at least call me? She's so sad. And she's like, I literally woke up yesterday. I've been
awake 24 hours and I was demanding to see you.
She's very inventive with ways to get what she wants. So,
oh yeah. There is a novella of her story and how she met Deacon, like before they got married, if you are interested to want to read it.
I feel like I might like her and Deacon better.
It's a really cute, but it's a novella. Like, it's a short story.
Yeah.
So,
like, I do like her character. I really enjoy her. Like, even the part when Raphael comes to find out where Elena went, you know, after she flees, and they're like, oh, they're coming for you. So he just goes and asks her, and she just tells him because he can mind control. And she felt so bad. She's on the phone like, oh my God, what kind of person am I? I just told him. And she's like, it's not your fault.
It's mind control. It's not your fault.
Yeah, she's like, what kind of fucking hunter am I? I just gave up the goods. My own best friend. She felt so bad. I'm like, oh my God.
That was cute though.
Yeah, she's like, don't worry, it's fine.
She's a good friend. Yeah, and yes, her story is great. And she is a main secondary character throughout the series because as director of the guild, like, she's very important. But go read their short story. It's really cute. Okay,
I might do that because I do like her character. And even like all the scenes she was in were really good. Like the scene where Raphael comes and he finds her like on the playground, and that scene was cute. The little kids come up and touch his feathers, and they're like, Angel, and he's like, yeah, he's so nice to the little kids.
And this was him finding his humanity again. Like,
he's like, oh, you know, and she's like, what are you trying to show off for? Basically, you know, she's like talking smack, like, are you lying? Where is she? You know, she busted in. I love
the best kind of best friend. Yeah. It was such a good
scenes
scene.
Are great. So I think I will maybe read that. Or can I just buy it separate?
I think so. It was in an anthology that came out over a decade ago. It was like the Hellhound something anthology.
Okay, I'm going to see if I can find it on its own. Because I definitely do not want to buy a whole anthology just to
read a short story. Yeah, no.
Okay, well, I'll definitely look and see if I can find it because I'm interested. I almost like her better than Elena. Is that bad?
I mean, that's okay.
At least at this point, I reserve the chance to change my mind. You know.
Yes. So, what'd you think of Ransom and the other hunters?
I like Ransom. I thought he's very unique. I'm like, oh, he's a playboy turned like faithful. He's got a
dating
girl that
librarian. Like, that was just cute.
Yeah, obviously he never really cared for anyone like that, and this girl just stuck because it's like she was in a coma Elena was in a coma for a year. Or she was sleeping for a year. And when she woke up, she's like, is he still with her? Oh, girl. And you know, Sarah's like, yeah, they're still together.
And they're like, wow.
So I like him, you know.
Ashwini was mentioned a few times, but she's another really good character. You'll see more of her later.
Okay. Because I don't think we didn't have any, she wasn't on the page.
I think she was only talked about, but she's a really good hunter who likes staking people too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, she's fun. She's really fun.
Okay,
again,
so I guess
this helps when I know the whole series, and I'm like, oh yeah, we're mentioning Ashwini. I know her story. I know how good she is.
Does she show up in the next book or further down?
Further down.
Okay.
So I can give you some small spoilers for the next book after the show because I think you need it spoiled a little bit.
So you need to give me something to hold on to as I move forward.
Yes.
Okay. So if y'all want to hear the spoiler she's going to give me, you got to go to Patreon because we'll include it there.
Yes.
Because I do want, I need a little something. Although I'm excited for how much you love this.
I love it so much. Like this, I love everything Nalini writes. Like I love everything she writes. So I am definitely hardcore fangirl here. And I do see the plot holes. I do see the issues. I do see like, yeah, they fell in love really fast. I wish we could change this. But I also know that like the first 3 books of this whole series is them working on this relationship. And it's not picture perfect forever. And then we space it out, we go to other couples, then we come back to them, and we see how much they're still growing.
Feels like
and I love
the
that
BDB
so much.
inspired style of a series.
Yes.
Although,
yes,
I was happy because apparently you still like the first book. When we tried to go back to the BDB series, it did not hold up.
Yeah, it did not hold up.
But this one seems to have done
so. Again, there's a few issues with Raphael, but I'm like, you're over 1,000 years old. I can grant you some leniency because also I know where you're going to end up. I know you're getting better. The Brotherhood, I don't think they grow so much. No. They have very minimal growth. There's a lot of character growth here.
Yeah, side note to that, you guys, I think I'm done. I don't think I'm going to read anymore. I feel like I know I'm at least 3 books behind now, at least. I think I'm 3 books behind. And I know that they're focusing on the children now. So I don't know if I want to deal with it anymore. And I know for the Black Dagger Brotherhood fans, that's probably like sacrilege. Like, how dare you? But I kind of like, at least right now, and again, I always reserve the right to change my mind. But today, right now, I have zero interest in catching up in that series. After our attempted reread that went so badly.
Yeah, no. We're out. We're out.
Out for the count. Anyway.
I did see that I think they're going to start filming soon. I don't know how long it's going to take them to film season 1.
That's going to be trash.
It's going to be so bad. We're going to need giant bottles of tequila to get through
I still want to watch it with alcohol, and we might have it on Patreon only. So y'all might get the audio only on the Spreaker app if it's loud enough, and we're talking more than making faces, because sometimes you just got to see it. Sometimes you just got to see
us make faces.
We're gonna be like, oh, what the fuck? I know that's what's gonna
fuck. What is this?
Okay, so back to the subject at hand. We had a little detour. It's fine. We're back on the road.
Yes. Back on the angels. So, what did you think about the world building?
I actually did like the world building. I liked, like I mentioned earlier, we got to kind of hear the history, a little bit of the history. We understand the power structure, the power dynamic. We understand how angels and why angels are making vampires. And how this guy in this book, Uman or whatever, how that angel lost his shit. We kind of, so we understand the basics of it all. I think the groundwork is well done. I don't feel like confused, and I don't feel like there are big gaps. So I think she did a good job with world building in that respect. What do you think?
I thought it was a really interesting take to have angels coexisting with humans, and that humanity was essentially the same. Like, we had all of our politicians, we have, our judge and juries, and there's parks and schools and banks, and like everything's essentially the same. There's just angels technically ruling over us. And again, I'm looking forward into the series where like you do get to see the whole world. You do get to see the different countries, and we do travel to India to see the Neha, the snake angel, and all the other in Africa and Asia. And we get to go all over the world. And so that's something I really, really love about this series, is that it's not centralized. It's not like, here, it's only in New York where fun stuff happens. It's global. And we kind of get to start seeing that here with the cadre of 10 and how they're splitting the land masses, and everybody's, different shades of color, which beautiful. Love that. So diverse.
Well, we get to see more of the other. So I'm assuming we get to see more of those other people that are non-white.
Yes.
As in the front seat. In the driver's seat? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I love it. I love to hear that.
So each of the 7, Raphael's 7, they get their own books. And one of the most fun books is Jason's books. He's the spy master, so he's out spying somewhere. I'm not going to spoil
is he
that
the one
too
with the
much
black
for you.
wings?
Yeah. Who can like disappear and he... Yes. No, it's so fun. Dimitri gets the book.
Yeah. He was injured at the end. And I think that was him. He was injured at the end. And he was like, you didn't give me my punishment.
No, that was Ilium.
That was Ilium.
Bluebell. Yes.
Oh, yeah. The one with the blue feathers. And
yes.
He was so vain, I feel like. And everybody was like, oh, look at them in the snow. Oh, my God. He's so fun. Like, oh, my God.
He's fun. I can't wait. His book is book 9, so I don't know if you'll last that long, but he's fun.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we did get to see a good amount of his little 7 in this. Yeah.
But there's more. My favorite isn't in book 1, so I don't want to spoil that too much.
Okay.
But, I love this series. There's so much. And it's so diverse and it's so different and it's so interesting and it's so global. Like, I think that's what I really, really love about it, is that it's truly global.
Okay.
And yeah.
Okay, I have another question for you.
Okay.
But first, we're going to take a break.
Okay.
It's a great time to take a break. You guys, by checking out these commercials, you are supporting the podcast. Don't forget to share while you're listening. Share this with other fantasy-loving friends and people who love this series. And we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back, guys. Okay, Casey, my question.
You had a question for me?
I have a question. What do you think about Marguerite?
Ooh, I know too much.
Okay, because I
know too much.
I feel like she is like the hoe of angels. She like everybody.
Oh.
Do I have the name wrong?
You mean Michaela, or
Michaela.
So
there we go. Michaela. Yes,
Michaela.
Wrong name.
Yeah, sorry.
Michaela.
Marguerite is Elena's mother.
Yeah.
Who is passed away. So
no, not her. I mean Michaela. Who sleeps with everyone and goes around kind of demanding, like, hey, what you doing?
Demanding money, demanding
land, sex, everything. Yeah, her.
I kind of understand where she's coming from. Because, again, she's also close to 1,000 years old, and women have not always had all this power. So you got to do what you got to do. But she's also a cold-hearted bitch.
So this is her description. And I went and I found this wiki because I couldn't remember everyone's description.
That's okay.
So
there's a lot of people.
She's like, obviously, great beauty, skin the color of fine milk chocolate, eyes are an impossible shade of green, bronze-colored wings. Urim, that's the guy's name. Urim's former lover for many years. So, to be fair, when I was reading this book, I didn't even realize she was Black. I'm like, who is this hoe? I was so distracted with the fact that she's so rude. I'm like, what? Now I want to like her just because she's Black, but that's not that's not what I should be doing.
There are many Black people in this series.
But yeah, she was like all rubbing her wing up against Raphael, and she was Elena was so like, how dare she? That was so rude.
This bitch. Yes.
I'm like, she's trouble.
She is trouble.
Yeah.
No, I love and hate her.
Okay.
Like, I can understand where she's coming from, like needing that power, needing that security, but also she is a cold-hearted bitch. She's power hungry. She would murder her own mother to get more land. Like, she's not somebody you want to root for, but you can maybe respect a little bit, I guess.
So she's like the villain you love to hate.
Yes. Yes. She's not a true villain, but she's an antagonist you love to hate. Because you're like, this bitch.
Okay. Yeah, because I can tell. Well, I thought she might become a villain, but now I know she's not. She's just kind of ick,
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
rude.
Rude. Yeah. Yeah.
But she was showing up causing problems, and she almost died.
Mm-hmm.
And then
She
Aaron
was
was like,
damn lucky she didn't die.
yeah. And then Aaron was like, oh, I could just keep her
And feed
and
off her forever.
yeah, and put her in this cage, and she can watch me get my jollies. Basically, I'm like, what the? Okay,
Yeah. No. He was very dark and twisted. It was, yeah.
yeah. Which he okay. So make sure I understand this right, because I just talked
Uh-huh.
about how I thought, the world building was clear, but now I'm starting to
Mhm.
hope I can say this correctly. So
Yeah.
he's not even a villain, I would say. He is just another antagonist because he went crazy, basically,
Mhm.
because he wasn't making vampires. His
Yes.
power built up and all this,
Mhm.
like this thing that happens if they don't
Yeah.
expend it, and
Yeah.
they go
It's like a
crazy.
poison inside their brain.
Yeah,
Yes.
and he goes crazy, he just starts drinking blood and all kind of crazy shit. Like,
And mutilating people, and it
yeah,
was,
it was
I'm
very
glad she did
crazy.
not get more graphic, otherwise I would have been throwing up too.
Well, you know what? I thought it was. Now I have read worse, but for the
Mhm.
type of book this is, I thought it was kind of graphic. It could have been, like I said,
It
a
could
lot
have been
worse.
so much more descriptive.
Yeah.
And I was glad she didn't get more descriptive. This, I was like, okay, we're seeing just enough, but if you have a weak stomach, maybe skip some of these scenes.
I think the author was trying to make this really urban in some ways.
Mhm.
I was getting vibes of like some of the thrillers I might read. Like when it came to the
Yes.
scenes of,
Mhm.
finding the bodies and
Mhm.
investigating those investigative segments, I said, "Oh, she's trying to be a little edgy." So she's trying to make
Yes.
something a little harder against like the polar opposite of these like sex scenes. It's like we're going to fall in
Yes.
love and then we're going to find
See all the
bodies
violent
and
stuff.
yeah. So I
Yes.
think maybe she was trying to appease a little of everyone by doing that and not being too soft, but not being too
Mhm.
hard.
Mhm.
So I think she balanced that pretty well. It broke it up a little bit.
Yeah. I think she's also trying to differentiate from her side Changeling series, which is very much paranormal romance. And each book is only about one couple, and
Mm-hmm.
it's much softer. And there is violence, but it's not this dark or graphic.
Mm-hmm.
I think with this series, she was like, I'm going to take the gloves off and I'm going to let my freak flag fly.
Mm-hmm.
And then she has, in the later years, like a decade after she wrote this, she started writing thrillers, and she's written like 3 or 4 at this point. So I think she likes the thriller. I think she likes the dark stuff.
Now speaking of that, I do want to read some of her more recent releases that are thrillers.
Yes,
Because,
please.
other than fantasy or, paranormal romance, urban
Mhm.
fantasy, romantasy, that's my jam, as y'all know,
Mhm.
because it's pretty split
Mhm.
50-50 with the thriller / fantasy stuff here on the podcast. So I feel like since I like those segments that she was writing, I feel like her
Yes.
stuff will be darker and I probably will like it.
I hope so. I really like them. But again, I love everything she writes. I am a huge fangirl.
She's like, there's a huge bias here, and I know
Yes.
it.
Yes, I am biased. Let's just write that on my forehead. Biased. Like, I know it.
But, I could tell from those little segments, she knows how to write it. She knows how to write
Mhm.
something that's like, damn, that's fucked up. She knows
Yeah.
how
Oh,
to
yeah.
do
No,
it.
she knows how to do fucked up. She
Yeah.
knows how to get dark and twisted.
Mm-hmm.
And then as we kind of go into the series, you learn a lot more about Elena's past and that drip, drip, drip with the blood. And it gets so dark and twisted.
Mm-hmm.
And then even Raphael's past 1,000 years ago when his mother tried to kill him but didn't kill him. Like, it gets really dark for them. They have a lot of trauma to grow through.
Oh my gosh.
But I love it.
Well, I like that stuff. So maybe this will be one of those things where I come back on the second book and I'm like, it's the best thing since sliced bread.
I hope so. I really, really hope so.
Because looking at the ingredients on the back of the box, it
Mhm.
has all the things I
It
think I
has
would
all the
like.
ingredients. It's
Yeah.
just a really, I mean, I don't want to call this book slow because it's not slow per se, but it's a slow start. Like they have to start in this place
Mhm.
for them to grow where they grow to.
Yeah.
And so for that, like in that sense, yeah, it's slow because they're way down here, like at the bottom of the mountain. And I know they're going to go all the way up here to the top of the mountain, and it
Mhm.
takes time.
It does take time, especially, when you're plotting for a long series. I understand,
Mhm.
especially the author probably has a vision of what she sees
Mhm.
and how to get there. But in that respect, you also, and I feel like I've said this before with other series, you still need something that's going to catch you in the
Oh yeah.
pretty
And
quickly.
I feel like she did that with this murdering archangel and the other vampires around. Like this is a good starting place.
It feels like it's kind of going to be like, how you watch like TV shows that are procedural. So
Mhm.
is every book going to be like Monster of the Week kind of thing? Like every book
Kind
there's
of.
okay.
Yeah.
Mhm. So you
Yeah.
have the underlining story that's continuing, but then they have a
Mhm.
crime or something to
But
solve.
also, okay, so we kind of got hints of that with Li Zhuang, and she's now so powerful she can raise the dead and like
Mhm.
she makes zombies. So
Mhm.
that's a whole thing that they're going to have to deal with eventually. And the whole cadre of 10, each one of these rulers is having power hunger issues, and like they have secrets that they're hiding from each other, and there's going to be battles between them, and like there's so much political and global stuff, and then there's the monster of the week that we have to hunt, and it's so layered.
Mhm. Okay. I mean, I can see that because honestly, there I could tell already there are a lot of characters. There's a
Mhm.
lot of moving parts,
Mhm.
and I could see how things could really get convoluted and there's a lot to discover.
Yes.
Okay, so knowing how I am and knowing how
Mhm.
I reacted to this first book
Mhm.
and knowing what you've told me,
Yes.
what are the chances that I'll want to continue after the third book? If you had to guess.
I'm I think you might be interested enough to read one or two more.
Mhm.
I think you're not going to want to read the whole ass series, but I think like you'll definitely want to go read Sarah's novella.
Mhm.
You'll meet, I'm pretty sure you should know Ashwini by then, and she has another novella. Like you specifically will want those short stories.
Mhm.
You might be interested enough to pick up a couple others to be like, okay, now that I know the 7 a little better, I do want to read this person's story. I am interested in this or that. So I
Mhm.
think you might be interested in like not binging the whole series, but just kind of dabbling here and there.
So like parts like
Parts here and there.
mhm.
That's
Hmm.
I think you will be interested enough to like kind of stick around, especially because like if you're sick of Raphael and Elena after book 3, like it's not them anymore. It's
Mhm.
other characters getting their stories.
Mhm.
So you might be a little bit more interested in that.
Okay. Okay, we'll see. Time will
So,
tell.
yes.
Because I mean, honestly, the more you tell me, I feel like
Mhm.
there's no reason why I should not like this. There's
Yes,
no
no, like
reason.
this has everything we love in urban fantasy. It's
Yeah.
dark, it's violent, it's sexy. There's thousands of years old vampires and angels, and there's heroines who are like, I'm not going to take shit from you. I'm going to shoot you in the wings
Mhm.
cuz fuck this.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, yeah, no, it has everything. I think you just need to like keep going.
Mhm.
And then you'll be like, okay, yeah, no. Once you read Sarah's book, you'll be like, I love her even more. And once you meet Ashwini, you'll be like, oh, I love her. Like,
Mhm.
let's read more about her. And
Mm.
hopefully you'll fall in love with some of the 7.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
And all
I
the
hope
7,
so.
they're all men.
Hmm.
Mm. Sexist much?
Yeah, he is. He's very sexist, but
There's some powerful women out there. Let's get it
There
straight.
are.
Yeah.
There are some very powerful women.
Okay, well, we'll see. Okay, what else? Is there anything else? What else should we cover? Were there some more? Because I'm taking your lead. I'm following your lead on this.
I mean, was there anything you wanted to complain about? Because I can gush about this forever. I can talk
Honestly,
about...
No, I feel like, how I kind of told you before we hit record, I kind of feel
Mhm.
like I'm in the gray zone right now. Like,
Okay.
there's not a lot. There was nothing I absolutely hated. And
That's
there was
good.
nothing I absolutely loved. I feel a lot of gray right now. So, yeah, that's a good start.
No, that's a good start.
Yeah.
Like, again, in a lot of series, the first book never quite hits that hard. But I thought this one, yeah, no, I love this series. I love this author. We're just gonna write biased on my forehead. So
That's fair. That's fair.
I can show off. I got this signed.
Ooh.
You can see the signature.
Awesome.
So, yes, love it. Love the series. Huge fangirl.
I did have that book somewhere in this house, and I can't find it. I might have given it away.
Oh, no.
I had that book somewhere, and I spent like 30 minutes looking for it. I looked through like 3 boxes of books. I'm like, where is it? Did I give it away? Because you remember, like, year before last, I gave a bunch of books away, or maybe 2 years ago. I'm like, it was probably in there.
You were purging a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gone. So what I ended up doing was I like borrowed it from my library on my Kindle, and then I also was listening on audiobook on the Everand app, which I really like. And so I was able to do my 1-2 punch and knock it out in 3 days.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm not buying this, damn it, but I will borrow it.
Yes, that's fair.
I'm mad now. I'm like, that would have been, if I could known I would ever talk about this on the podcast, I would have kept the book. But I'm like, it's gone. There's no way it's
gone.
In this house.
That's fine. That's fine.
I tried. I don't know. Anyway, any other things, or should we go ahead and rate it? What do you think?
Let's go ahead and rate it.
Okay, well, since we already know what your rating's going to be.
Yes, you go first.
Okay, I'm going to rate this 3 out of 5. Like I just said, I feel kind of in the middle about it. I'm feeling excited to see what's next. I'm feeling I'm in a good space to receive the next book.
Good.
But yeah, this wasn't the best thing I ever read, not by a long shot. I didn't love the couple. I didn't love those two specifically as characters.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of room to grow. So that's why I'm going to leave it at a 3. It was good enough.
Okay, good. I'm 5 stars.
Of course.
We're just fangirl biased,
That's fair. At least you fully disclose that.
Fully disclose. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, there's nitpicky things, but I love it. I keep rereading it. I'm going to reread it many more times.
Okay, so the real question.
Okay.
This series or Patricia Briggs' Mercy Thompson series?
Oh, don't make me pick. Don't make me pick.
Oh, no.
This hurts. I'm going to pick the Guild Hunter series.
Oh, shit.
I love Mercy.
Okay.
But I'm going to tell you, Mercy is very localized. Like, she is only ever in Washington State.
Until she gets kidnapped to Europe.
Until she gets kidnapped to Europe. But, like, that's 10 books into the series, right? So, but she is very localized. It's all happening in her small town. Whereas this series, it's global. It's everywhere. You're going to Africa. You're going to India. You're going to Asia. You're going to Japan. You're going to Russia. Like, it's everywhere. And I love that so much. It's so diverse. It's every story is like new world building because every place is so different and you're learning about the entire world, not just, okay, in Washington State, here's where the werewolves live. oh, there's some in Montana. Let's drive for 6 hours to Montana. Like, it's so centralized. Whereas here, it's global.
Okay.
And I think I like that more. Ooh. I love Mercy, but this is global and diverse in a way that Mercy
can't be the way it
can't be. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Like, it's kind of diverse in Mercy's world, but not in comparison to what you're talking about.
Not in comparison to this. This has every person represented from every country, every skin color. Like, it's, yeah.
She gets points off of that, on that alone. Sounds like she does it well, too.
Oh, yeah. She's talked about how her books, or she loves being so diverse in her books because everybody can be anybody. So Black people can be good guys and bad guys. But, it's not just like, oh, here's my token Black person. Can't make them a villain. It's everybody gets to be a hero and everybody gets to be a villain because skin shade doesn't matter like that because everybody has different skin tones. So.
Yeah, she gets some bonus points for that.
Yes. Cool. Yes, love it.
Okay.
So.
All right, I guess we'll end that there.
Okay.
And we do have an after show available right now. If you read
Angel's Blood,
yes. If you've read Angel's Blood and you loved it or hated it, please let us know. Join us in book club. Maybe you can tell us there what you thought about it. If you love this author, let us know that too. I want to know all the things,
Yes.
Share with us. Tell us what you thought of this episode. Comment anywhere that you see it. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, help other people find the podcast. We appreciate you for doing that. And we'll see you next month. Until then, take care of yourselves. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Did you enjoy today's episode? If so, please head over to Apple Podcast or Spotify and leave a positive 5-star review. It's a simple action that makes a big difference. You can also like this episode on your favorite podcast player or share it with your fellow bookworm friends on social media. Joining the Shelf Addiction Patreon family is another way to support us. For as little as $2 a month, you can help our team create even more amazing bookish content. If Patreon isn't your thing, consider becoming a supporter on the Spreaker app for just $5 a month and gain access to exclusive audio-only content. You can find me everywhere, including Instagram, X, and TikTok under the handle Shelf Addiction. Join our book club of the same name on the book club's website and app, where we discuss all things bookish and more in a safe space. The Shelf Addiction podcast is a part of the Nerdy Maven Network. Thanks for tuning in.